Hi everybody, Ace Films, Railroad Sun Productions here. Today I thought I'd just give you a little bit of a layout update in my train room here, because I really haven't done any videos for a while, and plus the weather outside is not the best to go out and film. We have about 8 inches of snow on the ground right now. And as I'm filming this, it's -1 degrees outside. So I thought I'd just take a moment here to showcase some of the different features on some of the new features that are on my layout, and I guess I can talk about a few of the new pieces of rolling stock that I have as well. So let's start with this. This is a wall hanging that my aunt got me for Christmas. I don't know where she got it, probably Hobby Lobby or Hobby Town or something like that, where you get a lot of these decorative things. It is a big boy, and we know that 4014 is supposed to be up and running sometime this year, and from the Union Pacific, and I thought that's an interesting wall hanging to put up because of that, and I'm glad that she got it for me. I really like it. Moving on down to the actual layout this time. We'll start with, there's my 2501, that BNSF engine. We already know about that. Then we have new leaser engine on the Garrison David City and Southern. It is ex-Conrail, now EMD leasing, number 765. I believe it's a GP40, but somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. Runs really nice. It was used when I got it, so that's always a concern when I buy things like that. But it works, so that's all that matters. Behind it is a new BNSF, not new, but used new BNSF hopper. You can see on a lot of modern grain trains. Next is this CATX, not GATX, CATX hopper with a cat pot on it. And this one's really interesting because I bought it from a BNSF conductor. I also bought that BNSF car from him, and another one that's later down the line. And he was telling me about what they haul in these, and I didn't know this because I've never seen one of these before. I thought it went well with my cat elevator company co-op. And anyway, he says they haul kitty litter in once they mine it in Wyoming or wherever they mine it from, the clay, and that's pretty interesting. Not necessarily what it's going to be used for on the layout. Obviously, CATX, cat elevator, and all that. So it's probably going to be used as a grain hopper for the most part. Next is this NS boxcar. It was a kit that I built back at the beginning of January. It was a present from my dad for Christmas. Not much to say about it. It runs good. Erie Lackawanna boxcar. The doors open. They stick a little bit, but it's plastic on plastic, so what do you really expect? This was from a antique store in Lincoln, Nebraska. Got it for $10. It had the knuckle couplers already on it, so that was a bonus, I guess. It works. The couplers are a little bit low, if you can tell, between the NS boxcar and the boxcar I'm talking about now. There's an obvious difference in height, but then also the track there is a little bit warped too. So this is another car from that BNSF conductor. It works really nice. The skirts on the side near the wheels on either side of the car are a little bit low, so it's a little bit a little bit tricky to get onto the tracks if it derails without knocking a lot of other stuff off too. But I haven't had really any problems with it yet. This car is really nicely weathered. I like it. It is a BN hopper. I had one like it at another point in time, but it got lost at some point. Yeah. So it actually has roller bearing wheels. So it's like the actual trains. You can see the roller bearings, the triangular shaped 3 bolts or whatever it is on the side of the wheels turning as it's going down the tracks. It has problems with switches. It does not like to go from, over, like over a crossover from the siding onto the main or onto the spur from the main. But when it goes onto the siding from the main, it's fine, but when it goes off of the siding, it doesn't like it. So that's something too, I guess. Other than that, it works fine. Once again, the couplers are a little bit low, so I need to add probably some small washers underneath between the truck and the car body. And it's leaning right now. I don't know if it's just probably because of the track. Yeah, it's just because of the track, but yeah. So next up we have a 5-unit car, all BNSF, double stack container cars. They have the different containers in them. This was a really good deal for about, I think it was $50, something like that. And the guy was really nice about it. Not really much to say about it. It doesn't like slow speeds over the diamond crossing, but that is a sharp curve there as well, so maybe that's the problem. Probably. That's all I really have to say. The stacked containers are nice. Yeah. So let's go swing back over here quick and talk about this snowplow kit. I bought it thinking, oh, that'd be nice. Can maybe not paint over, but change the lettering on the sides at least. So this is a Baltimore and Maryland. I can't read what it says. Yeah, Baltimore and Maine. Wedge plow, and it was a kit. I had a heck of a time building it. The wings are supposed to come out on the sides, these right here. They don't. I couldn't put it together. The small pieces kept breaking. It was brittle plastic because it's an older kit. And yeah, as you can see, also the window at the top is also broken. There was no plastic to put in the window either, so it's just how it was, and it was old and brittle. It did not like me. These are not the original trucks that it had. As you can see, I put a roller bearing one in the back, and there's also one on the front. It's just, I want my stuff to look a little bit more modern for the most part. I mean, some of the cars don't have the roller bearings wheels on them, and they're on my normal trains, but this is one that's mostly going to be for show because it does not like curves, and I'll show you why. It also has horn hook couplers on it, but that's not really a concern to me because I have stuff like this Union Pacific engine. It has a horn hook on one end and a knuckle on the other. So this is the wheel setup. Now I was going to cut a square out of this, but I don't have a good knife for that. I need to sharpen my knife. It doesn't like curves. It will derail. And I tried taking one of the wheels out of the truck, and that didn't work. I'd have to cut the truck because the other end of the truck would drag, and then it didn't work well. So that's that. Other than that, it's a good piece to have just sitting in the yard. Probably weather it a little bit, and that'd be nice. That's really all I have to say about that one. I'll just put it in for now. So So let's go back over to the other side of the layout. We have CEFX 1047. It's an AC 4400. It runs, it was new, it was about $100, so it runs good. And I bought it from the people from Spring Creek Model Trains in Deschler, Nebraska. Well, it was from the Lincoln Train Show, but that was from their booth. I like getting stuff from them. I always get good deals, and everything always runs great. I got my BNSF SD70 Ace from there a few years ago as well. So if you ever have a chance to go down to Deschler, definitely check their store out and get some good deals, because they have really good prices for their new stuff. It runs great, like I said. The lights work, and I think it's DCC ready. I don't have DCC set up yet. I don't have a DCC system. That's something I'm looking into, though, for the future, because I have a lot of engines that would run on DCC. But they need to be, not only do they need to be converted, but they also need to be get the system set up first. That's what I'm trying to say, I think. I don't even know. Now I'm gonna stop recording for a second so I can get some other things out that I have that are new, and I'll get back to you in a second. Alright, we're back, and we're going to go through the line of 4 more pieces of rolling stock before we move on to actual layout changes. So we have a Santa Fe grain hop, or not a grain hopper, a sand hopper. Once again, probably going to be used for grain more than sand, but it's a possibility that it could be used for what it's actually meant for. It does like to derail. It needs to have weight added. I just haven't had a chance to do that or been thinking about it when I'm in here. So that's something. Next we have the USLX grain hopper, which is from Farmers Cooperative Association in Hordeville, Nebraska. This was a kit. I built it on Christmas Day. I got it on Christmas Eve. Works good. I don't think it really derails on curves, and since it has plastic wheels, it's towards the back of the train to keep it more stabilized. I don't like when my trains jolt a lot, and putting the plastic wheeled cars at the back seems to help that a lot. And since I have about half of my grain train is plastic wheels, it helps stabilize quite a bit. And it doesn't cause derailments because all the plastic wheels are pretty good condition. The last car we're going to look at is this Conrail grain hopper. And when it comes to freight car models, I don't really know what they are. There's some specific name for it, but I couldn't tell you what it is with any of these cars. It has metal wheels. It was new when I bought it from Grand Central Limited. They always have really nice deals too. Not a huge selection of HO, but they have a really big O-scale selection. If you ever get to Lincoln to check them out, please do that. They will appreciate it. It's a nice car. Katy couplers, I think. They're the metal couplers anyway. Metal wheels. It's a little bit on the light side, but it's just how it is with some of these cars. So lastly, we have a new engine. Not new, but used new. It's a Athearn, probably a blue box P42, I think. If I'm not right, correct me. I only know freight locomotives for the most part. It's an Amtrak. It runs a little rough, but it's probably the wheels that need to be cleaned. Has good couplers, although the couplers, I think the back coupler is low. It's a little bit too low for most of my cars. I mean, some of the plastic wheeled ones or the older ones could handle it. Or when it's coupled to an engine, that it tends to work better. So those are the freight cars and engines that are new to the layout. And let's get on to the actual update part. I'm running out of time. I have about 5 minutes, so let's see if we can get it done. As you may or may not have noticed, because I don't even remember when my last model railroading video was. I know it was quite some time ago, and it was in 2009 or 2018, not 19. So you probably didn't even notice that the elevator was on the opposite side. Well, it is. The station and the elevator switched places because the elevator clearance on this side is just terrible. So I figured, well, might as well use that short spur or dead-end track, whatever you want to call it, where the CFX and the rotary plow and that Amtrak switcher are, to serve as kind of an elevator spur for anything. I was looking for a new cement elevator at the train show last weekend. Did not find one. Could make my own, or could buy one of the Walther's kits. But I haven't decided what I want to do yet. I have a lot of these, what the bin is made out of, whatever those are, from wrapping paper, tablecloth paper, I don't know. But I have a couple of them in the attic that need to be used. So that might be the next project. Anyway, moving on to track. I don't know when the last time that it was that I showed any of this track to you. But if it's been a while, I think that this siding that's farthest from us, that's up against the wall, was there the last time. But I'm not exactly sure. I can't remember. So if not, that's new, and there's a crossover switch behind the elevator. I'll pick up the camera, move it. There's a chair. So that's where the crossover switches are. There's a signal bridge. It was from a Bachmann starter set. Nothing too fancy. Here's something I know that you probably haven't seen because it's relatively new within the last few months. The siding that goes back by the windmill in the duck pond, that was installed, I don't know when. It wasn't too long ago, really. But, yeah. So this curve where the intermodal cars are sitting on, that middle piece right there, that one was causing me so many problems with my 6-axle engines derailing because it was warped. What I did was I took out the piece of track and I put this new one in, and where it had been nailed before, it just made it bend in the middle. So I nailed it down on the end instead. It probably should have been glued, to be honest, but it works now, so my problems have gone away. And you'd hear me complaining about that, or you would have known that I was complaining about that about a month ago, because if you follow me on Instagram at Railroad Sign Productions, yeah, there was a post all about it with some derailments, and the elevator fell down and made things fall on the floor. It was just not a good day. Speaking about the elevator again, here's a little shack. I'll take it out. Just a little shack. Was okay. It was $2 at a place called the Marble Museum or something like that in New York. Good price, good shed. Looks like it should be looks like it belongs at the elevator. So switch over to the other side quickly. The station's over here, as I said before. Here's a little shack. Yeah, it's a shack. It looks like it belongs there. Really not much to say about that. Okay, and then the station's on this side, as I said before, I think. So we gotta come over here. We have these two houses, building projects, whatever. And they are the construction site, I guess. Those were also from the Marble Museum, so was that little shack. And so was this defect detector or trackside building, whatever you want to call it. I think they're for the most part they were like $2 a piece. There were some more of those houses there that are being built, but I didn't want those because I didn't want those. The last thing is Union Station. I don't know if you've had a chance to see this in real life. I don't know if it's even still standing. It was in Omaha. There's another one in Chicago that it could be modeled after. I think that at some point this will serve as Amtrak, but not on this layout. It needs to be painted, and it needs to have the clock put up and all that. It took me over a year to build because I just stopped working on it for whatever reason. And then one day I just finally decided I need to finish that, and then I finished that. And it looks good. It looks very good, for the most part anyway. Needs paint, needs probably a little bit of weathering too. But for what it cost, it was like free. I got it as a birthday present several years ago from a family friend, and it looks good on the layout. Maybe a little bit, on the odd side because of the small town feel and then just a huge station. But it works. So I hope you've enjoyed this layout update and all this. I also hope to be bringing you more videos, as I'm going to not have much of a chance in about a year because I'm going to college in the fall, and there's not a railroad track in the town that I'm going to be in college at. It's about a 50-mile jaunt to Union Pacific, and about 30, or well, maybe it's more like 15 or 20 miles to the Nebraska Central, and then also about 30 miles to the BNSF, and probably some other lines up that way too. But I hope you enjoyed this. I have quite a few good videos lined up for you. They're not put together yet, but they are filmed, and they just need to be put into their respective videos. So, thanks for watching this Railroad Sign production. Have a great day, and I really hope you enjoyed this. If you want to see more model railroad stuff, let me know, and I'll try and put some actual, trains running, film some movements on the GDCNS for you. Just let me know. Thanks for watching Railroad Sign Productions.